So, why isn't an incompetent 18-year-old standing right here before you today? Well, I'm going to show you how you can change your tire. If you've never changed your tire, it's not as complicated as you think, maybe for the materials you might be using, but it's pretty simple. So here I have 3 items that I use, well 4 items, but one of them is optional. 3 items that I will use in this presentation to help you change your tire. So, the first one is a hydraulic jack. You don't necessarily need a hydraulic jack specifically. This is just like a lot easier than going down your car and using a smaller jack to jack it up and risk the fear of getting, I don't know, crushed. The next item, could you go back? I'm sorry. The next item is a ratchet or a cross wrench. You could use any other type of ratchet or wrench, but I just use a ratchet like this because I'm poor and I can't afford an impact driver. And it just gives more torque when you're actually taking the wheel off. And then the next item is a rag. Why a rag? Well, so that your car doesn't, so that the jack doesn't damage your car, because metal on metal isn't really that good, unless the bottom of your car is plastic. Next slide. So first and foremost, what you want to do is find a flat space. If you don't find a flat space, you can say goodbye to your life, because if that car gives up on you, if the weight of the car gives up on what angle you've positioned that car on, bye. I don't know what to tell you. So you take your wrench out, and for this car that I'm taking the wheel off of, the nut size is 19 millimeters. I don't know what sizes your cars are going to be, so you might have to investigate that. But for this wheel, it's going to be 19 millimeters, so I'm going to be using that. Next one. So first and foremost, you don't want to take off, you don't want to start going, oh yeah, I'm going to take all these nuts off so I can take the wheel off. First, and before that, even before jacking the car, you have to loosen the nuts first, because if you go ahead and just take it off right there, I mean, your car's just going to fall. So I've organized this in a way that you want to start taking the nuts off. So by these arrows that are perfectly and pristinely organized, you want to go in kind of a star. The star way, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That way, so that the wheel doesn't get loosened in the wrong angle, and then it would be harder for you to take the wheel off. So now when you're prepared for jacking the car, you want to go down and look for a flat surface so that your car doesn't slip and make a hole, unless you want a hole. I don't know. It would look stylish, to be honest. So here I circled the area that I'm going to be putting the jack under and pumping the car on. So next I put the rag where I'm going to be pumping the jack at, and that's just to lessen the impact of metal on metal. So here I've put the jack under it, I'm starting to pump it up, and you want to get it to, you want to see if it's getting to some height, and once it does get to some height, then you can start working on it from there. So, the way you want to take it off is using that little star method I explained earlier. And the important thing about this is using the right amount of torque. Because if you don't, that beautiful thing is going to turn into something like this, and the next time you try to take the wheel off of your car, it's going to be a lot harder. This is what my dad did, so don't be like my dad. Right, now that once you've taken all those nuts off, it's going to look like this. It's prepared to be taken off. And this is what this is what the interior, well, behind the wheel looks like. I just had these replaced recently, so I don't know if yours is gonna look like that. Maybe it's dirtier if you've never taken your wheel off. Now for replacing your wheel, it's going to be difficult if you do it alone, so I recommend 2 people, but I did it alone. So when you're replacing your wheel, put your wheel on, and then put one of these nuts first on the wheel so that it doesn't get loose and it doesn't fall off while you're putting them on. And then you just put the rest of them on. You don't want to put them on all the way, because like what I said previously, the angle of how the wheel is going to tilt is going to be harder for the nut to be put on. So now that you have that put on and not turned all the way, you're going to want to jack the car down. So with that, I don't know how y'all's jacks are going to work, but I turned mine to the left. I turned that handle to the left, and I very, very slowly, because if you don't, your car's going to fall like an anvil. Very, very slowly, turn that handle to the left, and the air is going to decompress, and it'll come down. So now you take the jack out, and you're almost done. All you need to do is just reinforce the tightening that you originally did. So I did that after several grunts of doing that. I did it, and that's how you replace your tire. So I taught you how not to die, what materials you need, and how much labor it's going to be if you choose to do it the manual way like I did. So thank you to the people who showed up today, even though your presentations were done. That means a lot to me, and thank you for controlling the presentation.